Awesome.
Awesome. Don't you come calling me for nothing, though, because...
Hello,
happy campers. I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That's Chris. He's already trying to bury me under work. And welcome to another edition of Geekin Out. Now, from time to time, of course, Rona continues to ravish the countryside right now until people get sick and tired of listening to Governor Andy in his nightly program, till they kick him to the curb and start getting out and doing things on their own again. That was awful responsible of me to say, wasn't it? But anyway,
I was just like,
I'm not the one going through church parking lots looking at people's license plates, okay?
Right.
So,
well, due to the fact that we live in Kentucky, our show has now been canceled.
We're recording. We are recording on Easter Sunday. Don't know when the heck we're releasing this. Anywho, speaking of crime,
what?
Fictional crimes.
Fictional crimes?
This episode, if you're a mystery buff, have we got some news for you? It's now, here in Kentucky, okay, if you're watching this in Kentucky, if you're watching this elsewhere, screw you, but here in Kentucky, there's this channel called KET, and they are like the BBC Appalachia. Okay, because that's mainly what they show is British shows. Yeah. A few whatever PBS
Downtown
shows are
Abbey, which is one of the famous ones. Which
what was it?
Downtown Abbey or something?
Downtown Abbey.
Uptown Abbey? I don't know.
Anyway.
What is it?
Downtown Abbey.
Downtown?
I've never watched a single episode of it. I know that much.
Downtown?
You've seen Percy Jackson and you haven't seen Downton Abbey.
I don't care about Abby. I don't even know who Abby is.
She's a nice girl. She's a sweet girl. She's a girl of your dreams. Anywho. But those of you who watch KET are probably aware of Masterpiece Mystery. And they do show other mysteries too, like Father Brown, which is a BBC show. That one's fun. And if they can hang on, they managed to hang on to Father Brown. For some reason, British mysteries keep losing cast members. Especially Death in Paradise, which is the other one that shows all the time on KET. They kind of like swap out with Father Brown Thursday nights about 10 o'clock. So if you're looking for, if you've never heard of these before, check out KET1 on Thursday nights about 10 o'clock and you'll see some fun stuff. I think it's KET1 or maybe KET2. I can't keep track. I know it's not KET1. Anyway, if you're interested in mysteries and you're stuck in the house and you just need something new to watch, I, together with the beloved, she who must not be named, the beloved wife, she has had considerable input in this and she still will not appear on camera, even though roughly half this list is her idea.
Before you say anything else.
Yes.
Please do me a favor.
What?
Grab a pen and paper and write this stuff down.
What?
The things that you're going to mention.
Oh, what I'm about to say? Well.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you're stuck in a house and you need to binge watch something and you love mysteries, then this is a good thing to do. Especially when most of these apps have like a month or so many days free trial. Give it a shot. So anyway, pen, paper, get ready to write this stuff down.
While you're writing that down, here's a pro tip. When you sign up for those free months, okay, they're all going to require you to give up your debit card information and stuff. As soon as you get registered, you got your username, you get your confirmation, you cancel. Because every single one of them will let you keep that free month and then just end your access to it at the end of the month. And then if you decide you want to keep it, well then you go back in, you uncancel. You still got your information there.
A long time.
Just uncancel it and keep it.
And you need to watch out for those because sometimes they'll trick you. Because I know I did that a long, long time ago. Had no money. Well, I didn't have enough money on my card to do it. And even though it was a free trial, and they needed all that information, apparently I didn't have enough money to cover it, even though it was a free trial.
Who was that? Do you remember?
Because
I know it was
about a year or so ago. I can't remember what it was.
I remember there was one of these streaming services. You were supposed to get a free week, but you had to give up your debit card information. They'd go ahead and charge you.
Yeah.
And then if you canceled, they would do a refund. I can't remember which one it was.
And it was like,
just
watch
the small print there, guys. Anywho.
Yes, go for
So now that you got your pen and paper and all this other stuff, or, you know, anyway. Or you could have paused it and gone and getting pen and paper instead of us just sitting here rambling on. But
it.
hey,
I'm just trying to help
we're
the people
Luddites.
out.
He's trying to help the people. All right.
Sheesh.
Two services you need to know about, okay? And we've talked about both of these before because I've rambled on and on about British television. And one's called BRITBOX. It's brought to you, it's done by BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, and ITV, which is independent television in Britain. And I think they just added Channel 4, one or the other. Whatever. They got some of the British networks there. So some of their productions are on BRITBOX, okay?
Right.
If you want to see Monty Python, you're going to look on BritBox. If you want to see the Prime Minister's questions, if you're one of those C-spanners who watches for that, which is entertaining as heck if you ever get the chance to watch it, because it is hilarious. And BritBox has it on demand. Anywho, so BritBox is one of those British shows. It runs you about $7 a month, I think. I think it's well worth the price because when BBC airs things, it'll usually turn up on BritBox then 24 or 48 hours after it shows up on British television. Not always. It depends on how the rights are on a given thing. But if you ever wanted to watch British soap operas, that's where you go. It's BritBox. Ain't no soap opera like a British soap opera because believe me, they are a bunch of drama queens. Anywho. So anyway, like I said, Death in Paradise is on BritBox. You can get all the seasons up to the current one, which just aired in Britain. Will not come here to America for another couple of months, probably. And it'll probably show up on BritBox first and then turn up on KET in the fall.
Yeah.
So Death in Paradise is one. The other one I was talking about was Father Brown. They have all the episodes of Father Brown now on BritBox, right up to the latest one. So
Father Brown's a good one.
Father Brown is a good one. These are more designed if, I don't want to say for an old audience, but if you're tired of like the TVMA crap, then Death in Paradise and Father Brown are two good ones for you. Still some messed up stuff that goes on those shows in these mysteries and stuff, but you're not going to get a bunch of graphic sex scenes.
Please tell me on that list that you have that one old lady and the young guy solving mysteries. I can't
Vera?
remember. I don't remember what it's called, but it was funny. It's that I can't remember her name, but she was on another show.
It's probably not on here.
But I don't know what this is.
Anyway, we've got some others that are turned up on BritBox. Now, if you like those and you've already seen those shows, you've already seen Father Brown and Death in Paradise, there are some other ones on BritBox that, between me and the beloved wife, we would recommend you watch. Dr. Blake is one. This is an Australian mystery, and it's set in the 1950s. So that takes care of a lot of the things that hamper mystery writers now. And if a lot of mystery fans don't realize this, it's really hard to write a good suspenseful mystery if everybody has a cell phone. Okay, it's really hard to do that when you've got GPS and you can tell where people are all the time. If your cell phone's pinging where your location all the time, well, you were there at the scene of the crime, and your cell phone still has blood splatter all over it. So a lot of them set it back before this, and that's what Dr. Blake did. But Dr. Blake, since he is an actual physician, has to deal with a lot of public health issues and stuff in the Australian outback at the same time. It's an interesting little take on...
I gotta check that one out.
There's another one called The Coroner. Now, The Coroner is... This woman returns to her hometown. She's been medically trained. They need a coroner, and nobody else is available, so she takes over. Her ex-husband is the chief of police of this town.
Right.
And the two of them have to work together to figure out who keeps killing all these people. It basically suffers from Cabot Cove syndrome. People keep dropping dead in this little town. But they keep finding replacements for them somewhere. Anyway. If you're a fan of Rowan Atkinson, okay, if you like Mr. Bean or Blackadder or any of his stuff, you should check out a new series he did called Maigret, excuse me. Maigret is based on a series of French mystery novels. And Maigret is a police inspector in Paris. And this is Rowan Atkinson's first major recurring dramatic role. This is something he's wanted to do for years. They've only got 4 mysteries. This suffers from Sherlockitis. You only get like 2 or 3 movies every couple of years.
Yeah.
But they are spectacularly well done.
Huh.
They are well put together and will leave you guessing to the very end. Unless, of course, you've read the Maigret novels, in which case you already know what's going to happen in most of these, because they hew a lot closer to the source material than Sherlock did. Sherlock was Stephen Moffat kind of like reimagining Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. So this one hews a little closer. And moving on, there's a new one coming to BritBox. It's on now. It reveals 1 episode every Tuesday night, I think. It's called The Majorca Files. This is based, the beloved and I had looked this up too to figure out what, because we thought it was called the Mallorca Files. It's Mallorca, but it's a Spanish island. It's an island located in the Mediterranean Sea, just off the coast of Spain. So needless to say, because it's in the European Union, which kind of fell apart a few months ago with Brexit. But anyway, a British detective is matched with a German detective, and the 2 of them solve cases in this idyllic Mediterranean island. Kind of like Death in Paradise, but without the accents, Mon. They all have Spanish accents and not Caribbean accents.
Huh.
So that is actually a lot better than you would think. But so you might want to give that one a try. Let me keep going. One more we found. God bless BBC. This one didn't come from BBC, it didn't come from ITV, and it's not coming from Channel 4. None of them would lay claim to it. This is a 1970s British police procedural from London Weekend Television. God bless the British. This one's called The Sweeney. Okay? The Sweeney, the Sweeney. And I know the beloved is in there humming along too right now as she heard me doing that. You have to, if you don't have BritBox, please get the free subscription. The first thing you look for is the Sweeney. This is the biggest head trip you've ever seen in your life. You know, if your idea of Britain has anything to do with Downton Abbey and the Queen, all this other stuff, forget all that. Now you're over on the East End of London. The Sweeney is a bunch of cops who have no problem at all with resorting to bad things to get things done. But they still go after criminals. They do it the wrong way, but they're still catching criminals. Yeah, they'll break your teeth, but hey, you're a criminal. That's what you get. You shouldn't have run out in front of my car when I was speeding at you at 100 miles an hour. And the other cops will back him up and say, yeah, the fool jumped out in front of the car. He was doing 100 miles an hour. Oh, well, that's the Sweeney, okay?
Wow.
This, and oh my God, it is so 70s-rific. It is just pure 70s. I mean, this is the kind of thing you could almost see Shaft walk in and out of the scene. You'll absolutely adore it. If you're really feeling down, the Sweeney will bring you right back up. I tell you, this is good stuff. Every once in a while, a quick flash of nudity and stuff, but don't sweat that so much. Just get in there and, oh my God, this is like Benny Hill, the police procedural, but without the sense of humor. That's even better.
So is this like
this is where people are chasing each other and slapping each other and stuff, but they mean it.
Is this like the old Paul Hogan show type of thing?
Oh, you wish it was that sophisticated. Good stuff. Good stuff. So those are the basic. Now, of course, there's a lot more mysteries on BritBox, because there's one thing the Brits love. It's a good mystery. So you thank Agatha Christie for that. But there's a second streaming service that specializes in British stuff, and that they actually specialize in international stuff. They don't focus so much on Britain. They have a bunch of British content. They do more of a global scale, and that's ACORNTV. Okay, ACORNTV is one of those guys that winds up doing a lot of the they do a lot of the other KET, PBS style mysteries and stuff that you'll see being imported into America. So if you're seeing a mystery and they all have weird accents, odds are it's from ACORNTV. Okay? I'm going to throw a few at you. Now the first one I'm going to throw at you, and this is the beloved's #1, is George Gently. If you've never heard of George Gently, start at the beginning, work your way through it. It's going to be a long slog because it goes on and on and on. This is one of those they did like 4 movies every year or 2, so it piles up over time. George Gently, though, has an ongoing story. His wife, it starts with his wife dead, and he can't catch the guy who did it. From there, he gradually, and I mean over a decade, gradually degrades to the point where he's desperate to stop this guy, and he's got all these mysteries happening to him at the same time, so he just gets a little harder. It gets a little harder to get up and be a good guy every day. And he's got all these detective sergeants who are working with him and stuff, and they're slogging through it. It is really hard to describe. You've got to start. You've got to just give it a shot. Try the first couple of episodes. You need to get through the second episode. Okay, if you can get through the first and the second, that show is for you. If after that amount of time you're like, I can't take this, bail out, because it gets a lot worse from there. And I mean, the storytelling is great, but the story is going to rip you apart. So, George Gently is one of those things where if you know you're going to be sticking around the house for a couple of weeks, this is the one to watch. It'll keep you occupied. All right. Moving on, Foyle's War is also on Acorn. Now, Foyle's War is a detective show, but it's set during World War II. The first movie starts at the outbreak of, just before the outbreak of World War II, as far as the Americans getting involved. It starts with the outbreak of the British involvement, which is in 1939. It starts there and it works all the way to the end of the war. It goes past the end of the war a little bit. But all the mysteries are based inside World War II. Foyle fought in World War I. He's too old to fight in World War II. So he has to keep things straight on the home front instead of fighting overseas. Which, quite frankly, is fine with him because he's got people he cares about and stuff. But the period piece is spot on. And I'm a World War II student, so it's fascinating for me to sit here and see all the little touches of what British life was like during World War II. So, an excellent detective drama. Also on Acorn, the Brokenwood Mysteries. This is another one the Beloved recommends. This one's set in New Zealand. It's about this slob detective who basically takes over the Brokenwood investigative unit. He listens to country. He's got like 3 ex-wives. He drives around this beat-up little car that would put Columbus to shame. But he gets the job done, and he does. The character development, highly done. The mysteries are pretty good, well written, worth a try. The Brokenwood Mysteries. And the last ones I'm going to do, there's actually a pair of these. One of them I've talked about before. Remember, I don't know if you remember me telling you about the Oldenheim 12.
Yeah, you told me that.
Okay, now I recommended that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago. It's actually a Dutch show. And so everything's in this Nordic language, and it comes with subtitles. So you're not going to put this on in the background and hear it, okay? You'll recognize when they say F words and S words because those come right through in English. But apparently there's quite a few English words in this language. But it's subtitled. So, okay, so it's not dubbed, it's subtitled, which means you got to sit there and pay attention.
Right.
Which is a good thing, because the Oldenheim 12 is about people disappearing out of the town of Oldenheim. Okay? Episode after episode, they do 12 episodes. Episode after episode, somebody disappears, and then somebody else disappears. And then One of them actually comes back, but then more people start disappearing. And you don't find out till the very last episode who did it, because the next to last episode ends with the hero being smacked upside the head by the villain. You don't know who the villain is till the start of episode 12. I mean, right at the start of episode 12.
Wow.
So awesome little show. Like I said, you got to hang in there. Okay, because you got to pay attention to this one. This is not a background noise. What we didn't know is that there was actually a follow-up that Beloved and I are working through now. Not you, but me and the Beloved over in the other room. It's called the Show-and-Dum 12. Okay, the Show-and-Dum 12. If you go on the Acorn, just look for the number 12. Do a search for the number 12, you'll find these two. Okay, the Show-and-Dum 12 actually does this in a different spin. It's not a sequel, but it's by the same people, and they take the concept and they kind of like turn it on its ear a little bit. It's about these two kids these two teenagers who disappeared like 25 years ago.
Right.
A boy and a girl. The boy turns back up one day with amnesia. He's now pushing 35, 40. But he's pushing 40. I'll say that. He just turns up in Show-and-Dum and wants to know where his parents' place is. Well, parents aren't there anymore. His dad is now in an old folks' home. And when he goes to meet his dad kills over from a heart attack from the shock. He survives, but I'm not going to say it. The sheer complexity. Now this one, the character work isn't quite as intense as the Oldenheim 12 was, but the mystery is infinitely more complex because everybody, I swear to you, no husband and wife share a child. And if you watch the show, you'll know what I mean. It doesn't make any sense right now, but trust me, I don't want to spoil it for you. You want to watch this one. If you're a fan of those limited series that, remember I've talked about limited series that tell a good story. You have a start and you have an end, and you don't keep perpetuating it like Lost did.
Yeah.
Like if Lost had gone like 3 seasons and ended,
yeah,
and left some things unsaid, it would have been far better remembered over the years. These things do it well. So those are my recommendations for BRITBOX and Acorn. If they do offer free trial services, check them out. If now I believe BRITBOX costs $6.99 a month, and last I checked, Acorn's $5.99 a month. Okay, so that's not bad. You do get a huge amount of content beyond just the mysteries and stuff. Check those out. See what you think. Let us know down in the comments, or let him know over on the Movie Geek group, because he pays more attention to his social media than I do.
Yeah,
So,
I'm on it a lot.
as usual. So
Yeah,
anyway, what do you think?
I mean, some of them I definitely got to check out. It sounds like, even though I cannot pronounce any of them titles, it sounds
You don't
like
have to pronounce the titles.
some
You
of
just
them
have
I'm
to
just
hang
like,
in there.
what? What is that?
Get in there. Just get your teeth sunk in and enjoy a good juicy mystery once in a while, because they are not as common as they ought to be. But these
It takes a lot to write a good mystery.
now I will say
You gotta
one.
be smart.
I'll say one more thing too. If you are a fan of the Lord of the Rings movies that
Yeah.
were filmed in New Zealand, you're gonna love watching Brokenwood. Seeing those scenes in the background. Yes, if you ever wanted to see those scenes again, check them out. Anyway, till next time, I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That is Chris. We'll see you next time on hopefully a mysteryless episode of GEEKIN OUT. Take care, y'all. If we can turn this thing on.
trust China. China is asshole.